Hi folks, welcome to another beer review. A little bit of a special one, although the hype has somewhat not declined, but the dust has settled. Lost my train of thought. I've not even started the video yet. Yeah, but it's a bit of a big one, a big annual release here in the UK. Although that was a couple of weeks ago, or just a week, I can't remember. I don't really keep a track of that sort of stuff anymore. But my good friend Adam, who gets a hell of a lot of shout outs on this channel, was gracious enough to, I think his friend, like a mate of his, had bought 4 cans directly from the brewery. And he had a couple, so he got one, and then he kindly dropped one off to me. And you'll have seen all the beer tubers already review this one. And that, of course, is Putty from Verdant, double IPA. Really like that artwork. I think they change it up every time they release it. And yeah, so no, not really going to be able to cash in on the views with this one. But I couldn't give a brass monkey, really. So it's a bacon putty time. So yeah, double IPA, brewed with Azacca, Galaxy and Mosaic, 7.8% ABV, 440ml can. I'd imagine there's still quite a few cans and kegs of this knocking around. And yeah, I had it last year. Probably got it under the same circumstances, to be honest. And I think I've had it a few times now. But because so many IPAs are being, even like annually released, it's hard to keep a track of what you remember that beer being. Although that being said, it's happened before where you have a sip of a beer you've already had. You might have forgotten about it before taking that sip, and then it almost, you know, becomes remarkably familiar. So we shall see. And yeah, so looking forward to this. It's been a bit of a day. Do not condone people drinking because of something. But I just felt like having a beer. First day of the week. Nothing wrong with that. Although I am eyeing up a Track Imperial Stout, so it might be a bit of a fun Monday evening. Probably not, because I live a empty, shallow, lonely life. So beer in the glass then, and it's got that little bit of like a darker look to it. It's not a bright, vibrant, I mean it is a vibrant looking beer, beautiful colour, hazy as you like, out of focus as you like as well. It looks really good in this new, fucking hell, this North Snifter. One thing is worth for Whitehead, looking very nice indeed, as these beers tend to do. So let's see what we get on the nose. And it's a lovely aroma, it really, really is. Sort of like melon, peach, loads of peach. But then you've got some very soft, sweet citrus tones coming through. Little hint of freshly washed berries. Now that's a wanky taste note. But yeah, it smells really, really nice. It's not the most potent of IPAs. Don't always have to be. But it certainly smells nice. It's got that lot of like Roundtree's character. Very, very appetizing on the nose. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers folks, cheers Adam, and of course cheers to Adam's friend, who I think I might have met but can never remember their name, because I'm terrible with names, because I'm human scum. So let's rejoice in my human scumminess. Cheers. First of all, that was a very awkward sip. First thing you'll notice, lovely mouthfeel. Bold, but not overly chewy or thick. just about right, I'd say. It's definitely a peachiness there. Subtle sweetness. It's got the like the zesty bitterness of grapefruit. A little bit of a dank edge, especially towards the back end, just before the hoppy bitterness kicks in. But it's not like overtly like savoury or dank or anything like that. It's just, I'd say, it's not an outlandish beer. Doesn't stray too much in one direction. There's no overbearing flavour compared to others. It's very well balanced and well executed. And don't get me wrong, it's a lovely, lovely flavoursome double IPA. But I've been lucky enough to actually be able to do a good beer haul recently. Because I've just been on, I'm not going to lie, I've been primarily on the supermarket fodder for the past few weeks. Which is terrible considering the industry's in a decline. Or somewhat of a decline. But I bought some notable sort of like hoppy beers. And I think the point I'm trying to make is maybe 2-3 years ago, this would have like really excited me. Like the build up, then the release, then the excitement of like seeking out the beer. And when I'm saying this, I'm not like trying to downplay the beer itself or the brewery or like the culture, really. It's just, I don't find it to be like as special or as pivotal, because Verdant bring out some absolutely fantastic beers across all styles, across the board. They've got that reputation for being a great brewery for a reason. The beers speak for themselves. Merchandise is pretty cool as well. Need to get some Verdant merch. But, you know, there's other beers that Verdant brew on sort of a kind of annual circulation that don't get as much. It's weird saxophone noise outside. A weird saxophone noise would usually say that there was a saxophone, but it's really nice. But it's another IPA. The style that I always make points like this about, but yet is the one style that I do tend to buy a hell of a lot more. But I don't know, I don't really go out my way to buy like the hyped new releases in general. You know, you've got to put prices and your own circumstances into consideration, especially nowadays with beer. If I was out and about and I saw a can of it prior to drinking this one, which was kindly gifted to me in a little bit of a beer swap, then I probably would go out and buy it. I'd be interested to see what it's like on keg. But I didn't like rush out to buy a can of it when it was first released. And it's a well brewed double IPA in a world and an industry that brews 9 times out of 10 really good IPAs. And it sounds like I'm trying to be a contrarian about it, which I'm not, because it's a beautiful little beer, but I don't know, it just doesn't, I'm not like absolutely blown away by it. But fair dues to Verdant, they've got the reputation for a reason. People get excited when this beer comes out, which is great. I'd like to think that people who are buying direct will not only just buy like a 4-pack of this, but they'll also buy a few other Verdant beers. But then again, people buying your beer is a good thing in general. So even if that's the only beer that they buy, you're still getting, you know, the consumer purchasing your product. But and it's really frustrating me that there's this big empty space with all these frames. Need to get that sorted out. Plus, I made the mistake of putting a Northern Monk patrons label on the wall. Can't get it off, or else it'll rip everything else off with it. So, looks a bit like a hipster DOS house in the background. But yeah, fundamentally, it's a beautiful little beer. I'm sure I said that last time I had it, and then the time before that. But I've had other beers from Verdant which have been, for me personally, have had a bit more of effect on me. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'd say give it a go. I think you should always try beers that I've reviewed, so you can get your own sort of sense of it. But yeah, it's going down well. It's very tasty. I just think, me personally, I don't get excited like I used to. Because I know that 365 days of the year, with how strong the UK beer scene is in terms of output and quality of product, I know I can get fantastic beer anytime I want to. Do you know what I mean? And that stands for Verdant as well. The coffee beer that I had, the coffee stout, was beautiful. I had a really gorgeous like export stout. I've had a really nice black IPA. I had some great lagers, some great single hop beers. But yeah, give it a try. And if you have tried it, let me know what you think. I know my good friend Craig from Kent Beer Reviews did a side-by-side between a can of this and on keg, and I think there were some differences. Can't really remember because it was a bit of a while ago when I watched that. But by now, you'll have seen countless reviews. You'll have read countless reviews on Untappd. So me throwing my hat into the... I was going to say fire then. What a terrible phrase that would be. It's like, throw your hat into the fire. It's like, how does that relate to... Anyway. Hashtag Stuart Lee of BeerTube. But yeah, going to cook some nice chicken fajitas. And this will complement the cooking very well. Would I get another can of this? I don't know. That's the thing, I don't know. I'd much rather be inclined to pick up a few other things from Verdant, really. If I saw it on tap in the next like week or so, not sure if it's still, you know, out and about, I'd probably get myself a cheeky third or 2/3. But yeah, I don't feel like the need to rush out and get another can of this. Not that I actually got this can in the first place, let's be honest. As I said, I'm human scum. I'm a trash heap of a person, and you love it though, so that's all that matters. Anyway, I've taken up way too much of your time. Once again, terrible beer review, but hey ho, it is what it is. I do thank you and appreciate you all stopping by and watching this. And as I said, if you've got any thoughts, opinions on the beer itself from your own experiences, then let me know in the comments. I'm going to try and be a little bit more, I would say a little bit better on comments, but I need to be a lot better because I don't really respond to comments, and I need to start doing that. But yeah, and there's much better beer reviews of this on YouTube, so go watch those if you want an actual proper beer review. This has just become a mess. Anyway, check out Verdant, and see you guys later. Bye.